Say yes to new beginnings.
Yes.
Say yes to new standards of excellence.
Yes.
Say yes to engaging reportage with a difference.
Yes.
Introducing Yes International Magazine.
So I'd like to find out from you, what stands Senator out as a comedian?
I must be very candid with you. My personality stands out, and I think it's on purpose. It's on purpose. When I chose the name Senator, I'd already checked my style of comedy, and I knew that if I had answered any other name apart from that, I might not really be carrying that particular brand name properly. And that's why some people really think I'm a senator. But I always say to them outrightly, please, before person go beat me, or ask me for money where I no get, I am not the one in the National Assembly. So I try as much as possible to distinguish myself because of the brand name. That's one. Then secondly, because of my training, I've come to understand that the brand senator is quite different from Bethel Njoku. And as an artist, you must have a persona that works with what you call your commercial daily people, which is my audience, which are my fans. Then I must have my personality or my persona that works within the family confines. And that for me, I don't play with it. So a lot of us just make the mistake of thinking that you must take that stage habit outside, the four walls of the stage. By my theater training, I've come to understand, I was made to understand that, when it's time for role play, it's a different person. When it's not time for role play, then you see the personality. So I try as much as possible not to mix the two of them. And that's why when people see me on first instance, they go like, you sure saying him? Do you understand? Up until they engage me in a comic process, and then they get to understand, oh, nine. You know what I'm saying? So that one helps me to define the kind of duty and responsibility I have as an artist, and also define my responsibility as an individual, so that I don't mix things up. That really helps me to stand out. And again, one of the things that makes me stand out is my materials are very analytical. I try as much as possible to make sure that what you see on a daily basis is where I draw my strength. I can't come and start telling you stories about mosquitoes, stories about things that are not existent, or things that you cannot relate with, because you cannot be going through hunger and I'm telling you about mosquitoes. It really doesn't make sense. So I cannot be talking about things that do not exist when I know that as my duty, or my duty as a comedian or as an artist to be a social commentator, I lose it in trying to be another person. So anytime I come up on stage, I must let you know what's going on in your environment, what's going on in our environment, and I guess that's why people just see me from a different point of view, and that's why we've lasted this long too. We've been able to, with time, try to interpret the times and fit into how the times are going. Yeah.
Interesting. So what's your personal definition of comedy?
For me, comedy is that keen observation out of the ordinary. That's the truth. What makes comedy is the fact that the act of observation is not seen from the conventional point. That's just the truth about comedy. I can be telling you a story now. I saw a guy and say, you know what happened around Bonny camp? You go like, what happened? He said, that was how a car just failed brake and just ran into a group of people and they died. This is a normal story. Now, but if I employ my comic sense of observation, I'll be more animated in explaining this to you. I'll say, okay, you don't even know what happened today. We just do, trailer just lose brake. That charm already is beginning to give you pictures that are not on the regular basis. I say people they shout, see trailer, Aboki see trailer. It's becoming funnier than the original story I told you. You understand? Then I cannot say, driver just a shout, why you Allah, why you Allah? Hey, I want more, I want more. Now I'm being more animated. Now I'm also observing that from a different point, not the conventional point. So by the time I tell you that trailer just can't hit for somewhere bad, because they look for people. My brother see person hand for there, another person here do this side. And they say, where this guy here? Say, Mr. For that junction, go pick up, go pick up. It becomes out of the ordinary, it becomes an unconventional story. So comedy still remains that skill of observation that is not conventional. The ability to turn the story around, the ability to look at it from a different point of view, makes it unconventional and it must be hilarious in the sense that, as the story is going, they no longer see it from the regular, it becomes an abnormal story. That's what makes comedy, actually. Basically, that's it.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So, what makes a good comedian?
Now, one of the major things that makes a good comedian is his sense of observation. His sense of observation. Because that which you do not observe, he observes. And when he observes, he stands out. When he observes, his ability to imagine out of the ordinary is what takes you out. Which is one of the reasons why till tomorrow we still say, oh, Njoku is one of the best in the industry. Because the Njoku is telling you a story, and the story, you are saying what he's saying, but you're asking yourself, why I no look and reach that point? So that's what makes a good comedian. Now, Njoku's one of his masterpieces back then is that story of a boy who was traveling to Lagos and at Lokoja heard where the bus conductor was shouting, Lagos, 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 50 naira. It was out of the ordinary. But he didn't look at the signpost that was on the car, which was from the psychiatric hospital. So the people that were seated in that bus were actually mad people, but the driver wanted to make an extra 1 or 2 pounds from the street. So he started loading passengers. So this boy went into this bus because it was 50 naira. As the driver, they reached the psychiatric hospital. They bundled everybody. They didn't ask who was normal and who was abnormal, because these are patients. You get what I'm saying? So you are left with trying to figure out that there are situations where you want to get things cheaper. You want to go to Lagos for 15 naira. Now, when you ask yourself, who they go Lagos for 15 naira? And then you're going to say, true to that person, they crazy. So back to what I was saying before now. So a good comedian must be somebody who employs very keen sense of observation. It's very, very important. Yeah, that's why you see a whole lot of comedians who are good. Then some other ones are to the extreme because they take their time to, observe the environment. Yeah. So that's what makes it a good comedian.
Interesting.